Testing, testing, 1, 2. Sound check, good. Welcome back, everybody, to the next chapter in my letters home from Vietnam. This is beginning of chapter 2, advanced training, in episode 1. So it's going to be, it starts to get interesting now that we move on to advanced training and new bases, new destinations in my life. So my first letter here is to Mom and Dad. This is actually the last letter I sent from Fort Polk, and it's kind of setting up my graduation and them visiting me at Fort Polk and picking me up to take me home. November 20th. Dear Mom and Dad, today is Saturday and we have finished our basic combat course. Monday we will start our testing program and we'll finish Tuesday evening. Thursday will be a holiday, and Wednesday and Friday will be relatively free. So as you can see, we are now coasting down to the finish line. I'm getting tired of this place and I can't wait to get out of here. I can't wait to get home. We got partial pay today and received our travel pay. I got $50 partial pay and $119 travel pay to Fort Ord, California. So I now have $190 with me that I have to guard from the thieves. Since we don't have to spend much here, I've been saving some money. I've got your reservations at the Continental Motor Hotel all settled and will be good until 6 p.m. Friday evening. They're going to be real crowded that weekend. You know that Leesville is in the western part of Louisiana, right next to the Wasatch National Forest. Please bring 1 pair of slacks and 1 sports shirt in case I want to save my uniform for the trip home. Charlie sent me some pictures of his car, and it didn't look as bad as I had imagined it would. It's too bad their parents are making them get rid of it, for they were learning a lot by building on it. And it proves to be safe because after a bad accident, they were not seriously injured. What had happened was Charlie and Don, in fact I was involved too, built a hot rod, put a V8 engine in an old vehicle, and I'm not sure if it was my car that they wrecked. I believe they might have, but they ended up getting the car running, and it was an old car, the 40s, and they ended up crashing into the house across the street from my house. And I heard about it after the fact, but they totaled the car. They didn't get hurt, very badly anyway, but the parents apparently made them get rid of it. I was overseas at the time, we're out in the Army, so I didn't really hear about all the details till later on. But I talk about it here, obviously. That's all for now. See you in a week. Love, Donnie. All right, so this was the end of my training at Fort Polk. They came and they had a graduation. I vaguely remember the graduation. They came and it was pomp and ceremony. We had been learning how to march in formation. And interesting note too, I noticed when I first arrived at Fort Polk, they tried to get us to march around, teaching us how to march like an army, and we were so sloppy and bad and turned the wrong way, and it was just bad. But as you progress through that period, you'd get better and better. And I personally noticed other companies that were marching, you'd see them near where you were, and they would be marching in step and looked very precision. I said, man, look how good those guys are. And eventually we got to that point too. We had to march on the field for the graduation. I think we did a great job. I vaguely remember that, and it was really nice to see my folks. And at the end of the graduation, they let us go, and I guess we drove back to Corpus Christi. Anyway, so after that, I was home for a couple of weeks, and then had to report out to Fort Ord, California for my advanced training. And my letter here says that I left Denver. This is December 12th. So I'm not sure if I had been in Denver or I traveled up to Denver for some reason. I can't remember now. But the letter says, Dear Mom and Dad, December 12th. This is 1965 still. Left Denver at 2:40 p.m., arrived in San Francisco at 3:50. The flight across the West was beautiful, and I took a lot of pictures, and we'll send them along later. Landing in San Francisco is quite spectacular, with a good view of the cities along San Francisco Bay. It was raining in San Francisco when I got there, and it was night when I left. The lights around San Francisco are beautiful. Friday night I was sick all night and was up a lot for trips to the latrine. I guess I had a little stomach flu. I felt better Saturday though and came on out here. I arrived at the reception station at about 7:30 p.m. Saturday night. I was quickly processed and assigned to my company and delivered to my barracks. I got moved in about 10:15 p.m. and went straight to bed. This place is nothing like Fort Polk at all. The barracks are much nicer than Polk in that they are finished inside with walls and ceilings. There's plenty of light, and the latrine is all tile and very modern. They treat us better here also so far. Much to my surprise, the ocean, or Monterey Bay, is in clear view from the barracks. So when I got up this morning, I took a walk down to the shore and watched some of the beautiful surf pound the beach for about an hour. I remember that because I was kind of formerly a surfer on the Gulf Coast. Never really had experienced Pacific Ocean type waves. And these waves were 10, 15 foot waves coming in on the shore there at Monterey Bay. And I remember that it was beautiful. And I took pictures of it, and maybe I'll get to show some of those. I hope that they show how beautiful it is, the pictures I took. I couldn't buy any mailers this week, but I hope I can get some next week. I'm going to have 6 days for Christmas, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably go to San Francisco and Los Angeles. I still have $60, and we'll get paid again soon, so I'll have no need for money. This is really a nice area, and I can't wait to get around to see it. Every Sunday at 12:30, they have a tour from the service club that goes along the 17-mile drive. It's at where the golf course is there. And that is supposed to be nice, and I plan to take it as soon as possible. If you want, you can send me 1 or 2 long sleeve shirts and a pair or 2 of slacks, press free, my sweater, and if you can, my long coat, my heavy coat. My new address is Private E1 Donald D. Flint, Class 137, Company D, 1st Battalion, 4th Brigade, Fort Ord, California, 93941. So that was my last letter for 1965, and we transition to 1966. This is to my brother-in-law and sister, Jean Cotton. January 17th. I'm having a wonderful time out here in California. Too bad I'm in the Army. Of course, if I wasn't in the Army, I wouldn't get a chance to see what I'm seeing. This school is so Mickey Mouse, though it's boring to me. So far, I have kept a 90% or better score without putting forth any effort whatsoever. All I do is pay attention in class and then pass the test. I'll be getting out of here soon and get a permanent assignment. I don't know where yet. I have really been enjoying my off time while I've been here. Went to LA during the Christmas holidays, and every weekend I have gone to somewhere around here. Every town here is different, and all are fun and interesting. So far, my favorite is Santa Cruz, where I went this weekend. I went there without knowing that there was the Northern California Surfing Championship surfing contest being held. Saw some really spectacular surfing there. with the surf up to 12 to 15 feet with a 35-mile-an-hour offshore wind, which made the surf good. Saturday night, I went to a dance at the Santa Cruz Civic Center. It was a neat dance, and I had a lot of fun. The California kids are really sharp and are easy to meet and talk to. I took about 30 pictures this weekend alone. I really do like my camera a lot. I've taken 6 or 7 rolls so far and have been pleased with the results. I do have a lot to learn about how to take good pictures. While I was home on leave, I took some fantastic shots of the skyline of Corpus Christi on a day it was almost completely calm, and they are truly beautiful. I'm sure you'll get to see them later. Right now I'm experimenting with films and techniques. So far my last pictures have been with the Agafachrome film, but I can't buy it on this base. I've tried to keep looking up since I have been in the Army, but it sure is hard. The Army chapels are very good and are helpful to me. I went every week while in basic, but since I came out here, I've been only to 3 services. We are so fed up with the Army, by the time Saturday afternoon comes around, we grab our pass and get out of there. Even though it is better here than basic, there is still a lot of harassment being dished out. I'll only have 3 weeks after this week, and I'll be a permanent party somewhere, won't have more rights. Please pray for me in the coming weeks that the Lord executes His will on where I will be stationed, and that He use me when and where He can. I want to go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, but I could go anywhere, even Vietnam. You can bet I'm praying about it lately. It's really hard to stay in fellowship in an environment such as this, but that's no excuse to be out of fellowship. I know that I don't try to do what I should because I'm lazy. Anyway, please pray for me when you get a chance. I read your letter to Mom and Dad telling them about your trip home, about the new coffee table and all. I bet you and Johnny can't wait to get back to Corpus and settle down to an orderly schedule. I wouldn't stay in the service any more than I have to. That's why I didn't go to OCS. I realize now that I should have joined the National Guard or the Army Reserve so I could go home in 4 weeks, but I didn't know at the time. That's all the news for now. We'll let you know where I'm headed. Love, Donnie. So at that point in time, still a trainee and had no assignment for a permanent base, and actually got held over. That's what we call a held over status at Fort Ord, waiting for a slot somewhere in the world for weeks and weeks and weeks. I think it ended up being a couple of months, and ended up getting assigned to Vietnam. And in the meantime, during all this, my mom had a stroke sometime after I left Corpus to come to Fort Ord. And I don't know if they gave me a lot of the details about it. They didn't want me to worry. But she had a stroke, apparently a mild stroke, because she did get over it later. So this letter is starting January 14th, 1966. And so I didn't know if Mom was available to hear it. So this is to Dad. Dear Dad, I don't know if Mother is home yet or not. So that's why I'm addressing this letter to you. I received your letter the other day, and I thank you for the other correspondence you sent me. I wrote Jerry Cochran yesterday. I guess I will get my majority from DeMolay real soon. It's hard to believe that I will be 21 on my birthday, but I will be able to have more fun because you have to be 21 to go into all the nightclubs in California, and that's where all the best entertainers have shows. Of course, I probably won't be here in California, but it's the same anywhere I go. I'm still doing fine in this school with the top score man and I changing places for top honors. I'm keeping an average above 90%, I believe. And you can probably tell that my typing has improved considerably, although my speed is slow and my accuracy is debatable. In English, we're now mostly reviewing, what we have learned in the past 4 weeks. And because 7 of us are chaplain's assistants and changed schools this week, we are taking routine orders over again and, of course, maxing every test. I can't wait to graduate from this school, though, because as we are now, we are still just trainees and are no good to anybody, especially the sergeants. Next week, we will start our on-the-job training. We'll actually be at a chapel and doing what an assistant would do. On my free weekends, I have been traveling around to these little towns around here and seeing what they are like. So far, I've been to Monterey, Salinas, Seaside, and Carmel. I have liked Carmel the best of them because it's different from any town I've been to before. And I would like to come back here someday to see Carmel again. The weekend here is here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do this time. I might go to Santa Cruz on the north side of the bay, but I'm not sure yet. I want to go to San Francisco one of these weekends, but I don't know which one. It only costs $6 to go there round trip on the bus and $15 on the plane. I'm sure I'll make it soon. Have you seen my pictures yet? As you can probably guess, my favorite ones are the ones of downtown Corpus Christi. I think that I got lucky that day because the others are not near as good as those. It may have been that film I used. It was the ACFA film that I was using, and it seemed to be better than the Kodak I have used since. I still use Kodak though because it only cost me $2.70 a roll, including development. I am planning to use some ACFA film again to see if it was the film or not. Right now I can't buy any EX 13520 because the PX is out and has been out since Christmas, and I don't know when I will get any, so I'm using Kodachrome film. I got back my last roll the other day, and they were pretty good considering the conditions. I had to shoot some of them. I took them in Los Angeles when I was there Christmas. My main problem has not been getting close enough to the subject to be able to see it clearly. I'm planning to get a telephoto lens and filters for it if I go overseas in the near future. Still don't have my orders yet, but as soon as I find out, I'll give you a call. I shouldn't know until the 7th week anyway, so don't expect a call from me for at least 2 weeks or so. I am still hoping to go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, so that I can be close to home. Wherever I go, if I get energetic, I can take some college courses, either right on the base or go into town at night to a local college and take them. These would be accredited at most any college in the country and would sure help me along in my schooling. I have been thinking it over, and after what I've seen since I've been in the Army, I believe that the best thing in the world I can do is go back to school and get a degree, because I don't want to be stuck around with people without educations the rest of my life. Even me, with my limited amount of college, can't carry on a conversation with them because they don't have enough background to think intelligently about a subject. All most of the boys here think about is their girlfriends at home and how they're going to get married as soon as they get home and all that. I don't think that I should get married until I have the education to be able to support her properly, like Johnny and Glenn are supporting their wives. I hope I don't fall into the marriage trap anyway. But that's all from here for now. Let me know how you like my slides and keep sending me the news. Love, Donnie. That was cool. I'll do one more. This was to my sister in Colorado, Janet Menken and Glenn Menken, January 19th. I was very pleased that you had a little girl when you had your baby. I think that the name you picked out is very nice, and I bet she is a little doll. I'm sorry you had that infection after having Lynn, and I hope you're feeling okay now and are able to take care of 2 babies at once. Is Bill happy with the new arrival? I'll bet that Glenn is real happy. I read your letter telling about your Christmas and all the fun you had. It sounds like Christmas used to be at our house when we were younger. I'm sure that for many Christmases to come, it will be even more exciting than 1965. I am now in my 6th week here at Fort Ord and should know where I'm going by next week or so. I'm hoping to go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, so I can be close to home and friends. There's a chance I could go there, but there's a larger chance of my going elsewhere. Most of the chaplain's assistants are going to Vietnam or Germany, but they need them over here too. I will let you know as soon as I know in a note along about next week. I sure have been enjoying California these past few weeks. I have been to almost all the towns around here within about 30 miles or so, and so far I like Santa Cruz the best. Went to Santa Cruz last weekend and had a real good time. There was a dance, a surfing contest, and a lot of interesting things to see around town. The weather was beautiful, except for the wind, and I took 30 pictures with my camera. I think you and the kids would really enjoy a trip out here someday. I think I would like to live out here from what I've seen since I've been here. We have had only 2 days of rain since I arrived, and the rest have been clear. I'm about to run out of class time, so I must go. Thank you for the stationery. It is really nice, and I have been using it for all my letters. So that's the beginning of advanced training, and Chapter 2, Episode 1 ends about here. I thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. This has been a fun project so far. I hope to continue with it as best I can. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Appreciate any subscriptions we can get. And I've been putting it on Facebook, so if y'all like it, it'll spread to other people and they can watch it too. Thanks again, and see you on the next episode. Just more about California and about my training and moving on to Vietnam. So we'll see y'all. Bye now.